the title of this book, Popcorn Poetry. I was halfway through writing the book, and I was trying to think what to call it, and so I was praying about it, and I felt that God said, "Pop this word into my head." The word popcorn came into my head. It just popped into my head like that, and I said to God, "You got to be joking, haven't you? You know, I can't. What's popcorn? You having a laugh? You know, because that's how I talk to God." And he does have a laugh as well, because he he said, "Yeah, I want you to call it popcorn poetry." And I said, "Why?" And this is what he said. He said, "So why call this book Popcorn Poetry? There really is much similarity between poetry and popcorn. Give heat to the corn and it transforms. Poetic words inside your brain can also do the same. They hit the spot, your brain goes pop, you're never the same again. I open my mouth, a poem pops out in the time that it takes to pop corn. Words can make you feel reborn. Turn up the heat and corn will change. Isn't it remarkable? Poetic words, thoughts rearrange. It really is a miracle. God gives me words so lyrical. Do you think that is hysterical? It's true. My message is for you all. Just like popcorn, you'll want some more. Not all will be your flavor of choice, but hear the message in my voice. Toffee, caramel, salt and sweet, every word, a special treat. God told me what to speak. Chocolate coated popcorn is my favorite flavor. It really is the one to savor. But popcorn will not change behavior. Poetic words can transform your mind. The message within, now you must find. Open your mind, don't stay blind. Popcorn can't do that, not any kind.
Excellent.
Thank you. So that's why it's called popcorn poetry.
That's beautiful.
Pop out. Sometimes I write a poem in just a few minutes. They just pop out in like that, and it's the Holy Spirit just floods the words into me.
I really believe in that myself as well.
So if you've got the book, you can follow on the pages. If anybody has got the book, the next one's on page 34, and there's a story behind this one. And Bill might actually remember this story, because I was in a band with Bill, and I've only just recently left, and I was the drummer. And we were waiting at a music festival to go on stage, and there was another band there, and I started chatting to some of the band members. And for some reason, we got around to body image and shape and stuff. And this member of this other band, he said, "Well, you're fat." And I said, no, I'm not fat. He said, "Well, you're pretty big, you know, you are fat, aren't you?" And I said, "No, I'm not fat. This isn't fat. This is polycystic kidney disease. This is growths on my kidneys, and this is what I have to live with." And he went from feeling quite big to quite small. And I said, "Don't worry about it. I get it all the time." But but I wrote a poem based on that little conversation backstage, and it's called "I'm Not Fat." This is it. I hear you laugh. I think you think I'm fat. It's rather sad, as a matter of fact. You say, "Look at that bloke. He's so large. What a joke. He's the size of a barge." If you knew what I've been through, I mean, really been through, you certainly wouldn't mock. If you knew what's really true, you would be in shock. So let's take stock of why I look like a bus. I don't fuss, I don't eat too much, but the truth must be told. I'm not big because I'm old, though I am getting on a bit. Clothes are hard to fit. But I'm not fat, that's a fact. Yes, I'm oversized. Yes, guess why? And win a prize. If you give in, then I win, even with my double chin. I'll put you out of your misery and tell you why I'm a plus-sized me. My kidneys are gigantic, and I mean mega. A diet won't help. I'm like it forever. Polycystic kidney disease is the medical name. If you could know what it's like, you'd never laugh again. I know that you don't mean it when you laugh and grin, as underneath my skin there's a mass that lies within. But God made me the way I am. It was part of his master plan. I know that I'm big and I'm not a pretty sight, but I still have fight and the might to write. God spoke to me and said, I've not finished with you yet. The pen is mightier than the sword. I'm a ready writer that God has called. I'm not really fat, I just look that way. You may think I'm a prat, but for you, I pray. That's a fact. I'm not fat.
Unbelievable.
As I'm not fat.
Thank you. Very well said.
This next one's a bit of fun. A friend of mine, Roy Ballard, he's not here, is he? But he posted something on Facebook that was a list of things that children say. And it was quite hilarious. And I took some of those things that children say or they wrote, and I rewrote them into a poetic rhyming form. Right, the things that children say. In the book of Guinness, God made the world and was tired. So he decided to take the Sabbath off and retired. Adam and Eve were created from an apple tree. This was the start of history. Noah built the ark, and his wife was Joan. Joan of Arc loved her home. They invited the animals on in pear trees. I know this rhyme is a little bit crazy, but it's what children say. Lot's wife was a pillar of salt during the day, but a ball of fire at night. None of this is right. The Jews throughout history in general have had trouble with unsympathetic genitals. That's my favorite line in there. Moses set the Jews free through the Red Sea. The Egyptians were all drowned in desert. None of the Jews were hurt. Afterwards, they made unleavened bread in obedience. This is bread made without ingredients. Moses did decide to climb Mount Sinai. That's where 10 commandments were given. The first was when Eve told Adam to eat the fruit forbidden. The seventh is, thou shalt not admit adultery. Please don't take this rhyme seriously. David was a Hebrew king with desires. He was skilled at playing the lyre, spelled L-I-A-R. He fought the Finkelsteins, a race of people in biblical times. Solomon had 300 wives and 700 porcupines. When Mary found out she was Jesus's mum, the Magna Carta was sung. 3 wise guys from the east arrived. They found Jesus and the manager inside. Jesus was born because Mary had an immaculate contraption. I hope this nonsense has been a little distraction. That's the things children say, and they're all true. That's what children have said or written down. I think children are amazing. A little bit about my story. I've been in hospital many times, and I've actually had surgery 10 times. And when I'm in hospital, they give you food, hospital food. It's good food, hospital food. And sometimes in hospital, some people moan about the food, about the food. And I've never done that. And this is a poem called Hospital Food. And it's also inspired by Psalm 34 that says, taste and see that the Lord is good. So this is hospital food. I've stayed in hospital many times and the food was pretty good. Yet some patients are ungrateful and say it tastes like wood. I say it's still a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Some people look at the ice cream and still they have a moan. I roll over on my bed and try my best not to groan. Some think it's like a hotel, order tea and biscuits all the time. The nurses always smile and say, that really is just fine. My favorite food in hospital has to be the yogurt. They buy it in from Scotland, from a company called McRobert. I can't get enough of the stuff. It's just so lush. As for all the other food, I say, taste and see that it is good. One day when my food didn't arrive, they offered me a choice of what was supplied. Other food had been sent. This is how the conversation went. Do you like rhubarb crumble? No, it makes my tummy grumble. I hadn't ate rhubarb since I was a kid. The nurse just smiled and removed the lid. This is the very last pud. Taste and see that it is good. I was starving, so I had to eat, opened my mouth, closed my eyes. Wow, what a treat! With a dollop of custard on the side, it tasted oh so sweet. I've never found a better rhubarb crumble to replace it. Hospital food is good, but I hope you never get to taste it. That's hospital food. This next one is called Broken Wing. But I sometimes think we're all, each of us, the human race, human beings, are all broken in some kind of way. Each individual has some form of brokenness. But I wrote this just after coming out of hospital in March this year. In June 2020, I was hit by a cyclist and I ended up with a broken shoulder and lots of other multiple injuries. And in March this year, I had my shoulder, a new shoulder joint fitted. And when I came out, I was getting all these poetic words coming into my head. And I thought, well, how am I going to write those down? You know, I've got arm in a sling and my dominant arm is my right hand. So I typed a lot of poetry using my left hand and one finger on my left hand, because I got a bent finger on my left hand as well. So I have to use just one finger on my left hand. And this is called Broken Wing, but it's for anybody who is struggling with any form of brokenness. I want to sing like a bird with a broken wing. The bird's brain says, get up and fly. She makes some effort, has to try. My brain fills with words to write, so I attempt to type one finger, one letter at a time. My arm is broken, but my mind is fine. God told me to write. It is my purpose. In brokenness, he will not desert us. Although my pain is often great, I write the things that he does state. I thank him for my clean slate and for my fate. I hear you say, give me a break. You may be broken like the bird in the nest, but don't give up. Just do your best. I type what I can with one good hand, a message to help you understand. Even with my broken wing, I don't give up. I don't give in. Sometimes people put God in a box. We go to church once a week on a Sunday, maybe for a couple of hours, and we let God out of that box. Sometimes it's once a year, like Christmas or Easter, and sometimes it's maybe for a wedding, we let God out of the box. This is called God in the box. He's there when I want him. I keep him in a box. I'm not like other folk. I go to him for lots. Every week I bring him out. On Sunday, I'm blessed. Then I put him in his box and just forget the rest. When Sunday comes around again, I know just what to do. Religiously, I plonk my bum upon a rock-hard pew. No matter where I am, on holiday by the sea, I find a local church and I set God free. You can't keep God in a box on Sunday. You lock him up on Saturday and Monday and all the days in between. You know what I mean? I also know that it makes sense to let God out for special events. Every year when Christmas comes around, a special box opened and the fairy lights are found. Not to mention the tinsel, baubles and the tree. I'm sure God is happy to see such glee. And of course, debauchery. Easter is a more solemn time. We take God from the box and think we are fine. Don't want to know about death, suffering and pain. Just want to scoff more chocolate again and again and again. Then every once in a while, we make God smile with an extra special treat. We open the box and greet. We want him for our christenings, our weddings, and when we die, we want him to hear us when we do cry. When trouble comes to find us and desperation knocks, we want God to help us and let him out of the box. But what about what God wants? Have you ever thought of that? He wants freedom from your box and to have a chat. Cast off your box of religion and pretend. God wants a relationship. He wants to be your friend. Don't keep him in a box and let him out on trend. If you got to know my God, you'd know no box can hold him. Until that day, he patiently waits for you to let him in. It isn't God that's in a box. The prisoner is you. My God wants to free you and change your point of view. Do you know what you have to do? Do you? God in a box. Can't keep God in a box. So when you live with polycystic kidney disease, people say to me, how's your day? Yeah, how are you today? And I don't let on to some people. If I told people that I'm in pain every day, they wouldn't understand it. But with polycystic kidney disease, you do get pain every day. And when they're the size of mine, you get pain, back pain all day, every day. And it varies, you know, you can have good days, bad days, and not so good days and not so bad days. But I always say that pain is like my nemesis, my enemy. And this is called nemesis. My nemesis comes and chips away. I feel him chipping every day. Every day I feel him gain. My nemesis has a name. His name is pain. Maybe he's your nemesis too. If he is, you know it's true. That pain he drains, I never complain. That pain he gains, still I remain. My brain is the same. My body is in pain. I feel restrained like a prisoner in chains in this painful domain. I'm thankful I am sane. Now and again, when pain enters my brain, that is when I write. It's how I've learned to fight. Despite my fight, I write. I want delight. I don't want pain. Don't want pain to remain. Please, Jesus, take it in your name. So this is inspired by Psalm 23. It's also inspired by the fact that I've been very close to death a few times. So this is called Valley. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I don't feel fear. I feel your caress. I excite that I might see you this day. Then in spite of my plight, I delight to pray. And you here, hold me dear, near to keep me safe. From the grave, I stay brave. Feel your love embrace. In my deepest, darkest depression, hear my heartfelt confession. In my tearful expression, you leave a lasting impression. Now, in my deep despair, I feel your presence there, like you care. Despite the pain I face, you wrap me in your grace. Say, run the race, set the pace, but my pace is slow. Darkness brings a death blow. Show me which way to go. I hear you say, hello, time to follow. Yet I feel so hollow. So I wallow in the mire, no desire, lost my fire, life soon expire, await my funeral pyre. When life is tough, I've had enough, feel like giving up. It's then he kicks my butt. My eyes had been shut, my open eyes, to my surprise, remove the disguise of night. I rise to the prize of light, a glorious sight. You lift me from the valley, saying this is not your finale. That's Valley. It's quite a hard one to read for me. So we'll have something a little bit light-hearted. I love to encourage people to write poetry. A friend of mine called Keith, there's a poem in the back of this book called Idiosyncrasy, and it's about Keith. And I love the fact that Keith is trying to write poetry and he's doing some great stuff. I love what he does. But, you know, I just love to encourage anybody to write poetry. So this next poem is all about encouraging people to write poetry, write what you feel. It's called Delightful Recital, and it is completely nonsense. And like I said right at the start, you've got to have a bit of nonsense poetry and a little bit of humor. So this is my nonsense one. It's Delightful Recital. Take some words and make them rhyme. Don't think too hard. You'll do just fine. I do it all of the time. In fact, I just can't stop. I do it such a lot. I write about serious and nonsensical stuff. So give it a go. It really isn't tough. Just think about a situation. Use your imagination. My garden is full of dandelions. They give me such a fright. Those lions are fine and dandy. They're such an awesome sight. They sit to dine, drink buckets of wine, and laugh about this rhyme. No meat do they eat through the week. Jackfruit will have to do. Monday to Friday, repeat, repeat. They're vegan through and through. It's true. What a to-do. It's so absurd, these rhyming words. At the weekend, they eat ladybird. Throughout the week, the ladybirds do fly. At the weekend, they run and hide. How many ladybirds does it take to fill a lion's tummy? Oh, for goodness sake, this rhyme is not really funny. Well, if that's what you think, I don't know why I bother to tell you about my dandelions that cause me so much bother. They're my nonsensical, lyrical, non-hysterical, imaginary friends. My head is full of nonsense that would drive you round the bend. Right now, it's time for you to rhyme. Go on, give it a try. As for me, it's the weekend and time for ladybird pie. I spy with my little eyes your question beginning, why? I would never lie. Just give it a try. It's your turn. 3, 2, 1, time for you to have some fun. If you think that I'm a plonker, you're wrong. I'm completely bonkers. Yeah. And if you think I'm completely bonkers, then that's all right. Anyway, this is the next one I wrote for Easter. It's called A Tale of Two Carpenters. Two different carpenters about the same age, both very pleased with the things that they made. Both men good with their hands, clearly followed every plan. But they were different types of man. Their calloused hands both looked the same, from hammer, saw, working with plane. But destiny would soon make that change, according to each of their names. When they were both 33 years old, each one did as they were told. One a Roman, the other a Jew, each one with a task to do and bring about a story true. The Roman man obeyed his boss. He took a tree and made a cross, knowing someone would suffer loss, death, and pain among chaos. One would die, the other would live. One would take, the other would give. Now, both men had a part to play. I wonder what that Roman would say if he could meet that Jew today. I'm sorry for the cross I made. With your life is how you paid. Then the Jew would say, don't be afraid. Without your cross, none would be saved. Without your tree, none would be free. Now there's one more thing for me to do, to say that I forgive you. Tale of Two Carpenters.
Very good.
Steve likes that one, he says. This next one, I posted it onto TikTok. I'm on lots of social medias. If you want to follow me on any of them, do so. But I posted this one on TikTok as a short video, and it went crazy. And a lot of people that have heard this or read it, they said, you've given me the words to express how I feel, and I didn't know how to put how I feel into words. And I'm talking about fatigue. This next poem is called Fatigue. And a lot of people have a misunderstanding. They think that fatigue is just tired, very tired, extreme tired. But it's not. Fatigue is a lot worse than that. And this describes what fatigue is. Struggling, muddling, fuddling along. Want to feel strong. My mind is wrong. I'm not tired. This is different. Reality seems so distant. I try to push on through the fog. My mind has gone. Where are you, God? I can't run. I try to plod. My mistake, can't stay awake. Something breaks, or so it seems. I pass out and dream. I struggle back, breathe in deep, fight the sleep, over and over, repeat, feel in defeat. Energy depletes, my muscles ache. Something else breaks. Has my God forsaken me? Will I see a victory? This isn't tiredness, it's something worse. Deliver me from this curse. Every day I wake at 7, a struggling wreck until 11. 4 hours in a groggy muddle, bumbling in the foggy fuddle. Then, as the fog does lift, I use my creative gifts before my energy does drift. I cry to God, please hear my pleas. I pray for reprieve. Release me from this dark fatigue. That's fatigue. It's not a very nice thing. This next one is, it says in the book of Hebrews that we can entertain angels unaware. And also there's somewhere else in the Bible where Jesus said, whatever you do for the least of these, you did it for me. I can't remember where that is, but Steve will probably know. We've got hundreds of Bibles here in Popcorn Palace. I could run and get one, but I won't. You can do that. But this next one is called Unaware, and it's all about the people we meet each day. You know, you don't know who they are and who you could be entertaining. I've actually, in my life, I know that I've met 2 angels. One I interviewed for a job, another one when I fell 3 floors and I was lowered. It felt like I was being lowered by an invisible hand. If you want to know more about those stories, I ain't got time to tell you them, but they're in my autobiography, The Golden Thread, and that's available anywhere. And if you want a free copy, just sign up to my mailing list. Just go to brendanconboy.co.uk / or just go to brendanconboy.co.uk and you'll be able to sign up to my mailing list then, and you get a free copy of The Golden Thread, and you can hear all about those angels and more. Anyway, unaware. I see you bake that cake, then take it to your upset mate. I see you with not much to give, yet the homeless person gets your last 2 quid. I see you in your transgression, yet you listen to a stranger with depression. I see you when you haven't much time, yet you give up your place in the line. I see you in your bad behavior, yet you're always there to help your neighbor. I see the times that you act like a Burke, yet you support your colleagues at work. I see you in times of trouble, yet you help an old lady whose life's a struggle. I see you in all your trials, yet you comfort the upset small child. I see you and your imperfection, yet to the lonely you show affection. I see your low resilience, then reach out to those who are different. You may be wondering how I can see what you do for the least you do for me. Even in your despair, you took time to show you care. Yet you were unaware it was me that was there. I was in your mate that ate that cake. I was the homeless outcast that received your cash. I was the stranger full of fear, and you gave me your listening ear. I was anxiously out of time, but you gave up your place in line. You always do me favors. You're a fantastic neighbor. At work, I never have to ask. You support my every task. I'm the old lady who wants to give up. I was lonely and had had enough. I was different, discarded by society. I was the child with anxiety. I am the person on the street. I am anyone that you meet. Don't live your life without a care. We entertain angels unaware. So there's a saying that says, and there's a song as well. The song says, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Yeah, that song. Yeah, that's a lie. That song is a lie. That saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. That is a lie. And I wrote this poem, it's called Stronger. And I wrote it because somebody posted on one of the social channels, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And a doctor responded with a whole list of all these different things. They don't kill people, but they don't leave people in a very good way. So this is it's again another vulnerable personal thing. It's called Stronger. What doesn't kill you makes you strong. Whoever said that, they were wrong. Take my polycystic kidney disease. It hasn't killed me, but it's worse than a sneeze. My angina hasn't taken my life, though it certainly gives me plenty of strife. There are people living with life-limiting illness. Would they say that they now feel less? Powerless, not strong, but weak, so meek, unable to speak as they once did, lost their strength behind closed eyelids, frail and pale, limited, but alive. It didn't kill them, they survived. It hasn't killed me, but made me wise. Physically, I'm not as strong, but true strength is how we belong. True strength is admitting we are weak. We all need help. If you sneak a peek at what is going on each week, we all live within our human limitation. We all need help without reservation. The things that happen and bring us change cause us to rearrange our lives. New opportunities in disguise. When you can't do what you used to do, find new strength to do something new. The words that I write have made me strong, a new kind of stronger, a new sense of belong. I've grown with the power of words. God gave me a voice to be heard. In your weakness, look for your opportunity. No more bleakness. Turn to your creativity. That's Stronger. And, you know, whatever, any form of creativity is going to be good for your mental well-being. So I would urge anybody to just be creative in some way. If you can't write poetry, do something that is creative. It's you'll find it helps. Now, as a writer, I don't get this, but you know, there's a thing called writer's block, and there's a fear of staring at a blank page of paper, and you know, what's going to appear on that blank page of paper. Back in 1995, an artist called Martin Creed, he screwed a ball of paper, a piece of paper, sheet of A4 paper, into a ball, and placed it in a glass box, and it was called art. And he actually, to get the ball of paper looking the right way, he did it several times. In fact, he did it 88 times before he was satisfied that the ball of paper was a complete sphere. And so he called it work number 88. And it's all about, he says, it's all about the fear of the blank page. Don't be afraid of a blank page. Just write what comes into your mind. If you want to write, then just get on and write what comes into your mind. But this is called blank page. A plain piece of paper screwed up in a ball. Someone calls it art. Is it really art at all? A blank page is full of possibility, picture, story, poetry. What do you see? Does it fill you with anxiety, inspire creativity? Will you write, read, refrain, screw it up and start again? Disappointment and pain. You fold it into an aeroplane, make paper people on a chain. A blank page has no guarantee. Will it become origami, a roll of toiletry, or maybe paper mache? Or is it mache? How do you say it? Is it the way that I said it? Does this poem have some credit? Are you going to shred it? I simply would just dread it. Imagine you are that blank page the creator planned and carefully made, unafraid to express. He made me the best, even though I look a mess and I'm far from perfect. He doesn't give me stress, though I do deserve it. He could rip me up and start again, screw me into a ball of pain, blot me out like a stain. Instead, he said, be born again. Just, are you insane? How can that be? Just take a look at John 3:3. Jesus said, we can be born twice. Then he went and paid the price. Invite him into your life. Then on that day, whatever your age, you shout hooray with a new blank page. Yeah, my new blank page started in 1986. How often do you, when you pray, do you say, let's just pray? How often do you hear people say, God, can you just? This next one is not getting at anybody, but it's trying to encourage people to think about what they're actually saying when they're praying. This is called let's just. Let's just stop using the word just as a throwaway. We use it in such a way it belittles what we say, especially when we pray. We say, let's just pray. I'm just saying, there's no such thing as just praying. We should pray justly, and that we must be. Do you pray for the blind to just see? Praying is much bigger than just something. Prayer is communicating, it's petitioning, it's asking, it's reflecting, it's giving in. We say, God, can you just do this? God, can you just do that? We say it all matter of fact. When we pray, it's a real big deal. How do you think God must feel? Please, God, just heal. Please, God, just provide. Are you being denied? Please, God, just give me work. Just nothing that gets me covered in dirt. Just give me an easy position. Just stop praying with conditions. Instead of saying, God, just do, remember, you pray to God, just and true. I mentioned earlier about I've been in hospital many times, and I've had 10 operations, and each one leaves a scar. Each one tells a story, and many people have different scars. We've all got at least one scar, haven't we? And we call it a belly button, and that tells the story of our birth. But some scars tell more horrific stories, and some scars are not even visible. This is called scars. Most of us have a scar or a few. I had my first at the age of 2. It's true. Accidents, ops, and self-infliction, each with a tale of great conviction. My finger received the first incision. I've been stitched up so many times, but still I say everything is fine. To talk of scars may seem gory, though every scar tells a story. I'm alive, give God the glory. Sometimes I make up stories for a laugh. I know it's daft, but we need some fun. My dialysis scar is a shot from a gun. My kidney transplant is a shark bite, maybe from a great white. It's quite a sight on my right side. I've so many scars, you'd be surprised, though the deepest ones lie deep inside. The mental pain that took its strain, the mental drain, I look for gain. The stories of these scars are the goriest by far. I tell the truth, I will not lie. I've struggled and tried, often considered suicide. Glad I am still alive. I survive and think of those much more deprived. There is always someone with more scars than me. I know of one nailed on a tree, scars on his head from the crown of thorns. His sacrifice made me reborn, torture and pain with every lash, the scars that ripped the flesh from his back, the scars on his hands, feet and side. He paid the price, despised and died. He conquered death, then did rise. New life, a gift for you and me. Despite my scars, he sets me free. This next one's called procrastination, and it's all about putting things off. We say things to put things off. Sometimes we say we're going to be somewhere and we aren't there. You know, on the Facebook event for tonight, as an example, there was 119 responded and 29 said they're going, and we've had 12 in tonight for this. You know, people say things and they don't mean it, they don't commit. This is called procrastination. It's also a little nod for Star Trek fans, a little mention of Jean-Luc Picard in here. So yeah, you got to get a bit of Star Trek in now and again. This is procrastination. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. Stop making excuses when you don't want to go. Just make a decision. Don't hesitate. No more delays. Don't procrastinate. No ifs, no buts, no maybes. Don't let it drive you crazy. Think about it no more time. Jump up, step out, cross the line. Get ready, get steady, get set and go. Jean-Luc Picard says, make it so. Don't put off until tomorrow what you can do today. That's what Benjamin Franklin had to say. And you say, I'm going to stop putting things off, starting tomorrow. But when tomorrow comes, it only brings you sorrow. Is that why you delay what you need to do today? Is that why you wait until it's too late? Why you procrastinate? If you enjoy the time you're wasting, is it wasted time? Do you ignore the pain you're facing, lost within this rhyme? There's no excuse for your excuse. You simply just refuse. Don't be aloof, just tell the truth. Excuses are uncouth. The day before yesterday was when it should be done. The day after tomorrow, you could be overrun. I'll do it when I get around to it, but round to it don't exist. And someday isn't a day in the week, though you might insist. You may delay, but time will not. Do it today with the time you've got. When all is said and done, more is said than done. So say the things you're going to do, then do the things and keep it true. Putting off an easy thing only makes it harder and less probable. Putting off a hard thing only makes it impossible. Perhaps I should just take my time and put off finishing this little rhyme. What would you do if you were me? Stop, sit down and drink some tea? Just say what you mean and mean what you say. Do it today, don't delay. Don't let tomorrow get in the way. And now we come to the last one of the evening. And is this the last one? This is the last one. Yeah. Some people say save the best till last. I don't know if this is the best. I'll leave that opinion to you. But this is dedicated to a lady called Anita Lasker Wolfisch. And some of you may know that name. She's a very old lady now. She's a cello player. And this is her story, or it's inspired by her story. She was, if you're wondering what the word mutti is in this poem, it's German for mother. So I'll just explain that, and I'll just read the poem, and you'll get to understand a little bit about Anita Lasker Wolfisch, cello player. It's called We Play for Your Life. We played for our lives. It's how we survived. So deprived. I closed my eyes, played my cello, could not watch them go. My mutti made it so. She told me when I was 5, music will help you to thrive. I struggled at first to rehearse, to learn a single verse. I'd play a tune, hear mutti humming. I wonder, did she know what was coming? Across the strings I draw my bow. I dare not watch them as they go. Deep, sensational, emotional, dour vibration. Weak, guttural sobs to the shower destination. Untie their laces, discard their shoes, disposed suitcases, give up and lose, stripped naked and bruised. They pulled me from the queue. Play if you want to stay alive. So I played and I cried. Music will help you to thrive. Mutti's words echoed in my head, in my heart. I know she's dead. A painful year in the camp of concentration. Played music until my liberation. Mutti told me music is my gift. My music saved me in Auschwitz. I am Anita. I survived the Holocaust. I played the cello when 6 million Jews were lost. The power of music is difficult to describe. This I know for certain. Music kept me alive. That's quite powerful, that one. Yeah. I actually started writing that, and I had this picture of this young lady, this young woman in mind when I wrote it. And I was halfway through writing it, and then I decided to do a little bit of research into how the Jews that could play instruments were pulled out of the queue to the showers, and they were put into the orchestra to play whilst the Jews were on the way to be exterminated in the death camps. And cello players were the rarest of all. So Anita had her life saved because she played the cello. So if you've enjoyed this evening, and if you would like something like this, if you would like me to come to your church or your organization, then I'm currently writing my next poetry book, and it's called Half Man, Half Poet. So I thought, well, it's a good name to sort of go under for going out and speaking in churches and Christian organizations and stuff like that. So Half Man, Half Poet is my tour title, I guess, if you want to use that. But it's called Half Man, Half Poet because I'm half the man I used to be, and I'm half the poet I want to be. But I am the poet that God made me be. And that's why it's called Half Man, Half Poet. And there is a poem called Half Man, Half Poet, which God gave me the words for. So if you're interested then in me coming to you, then get in touch. The final thing that I'd like to share with you is in Stroud in Gloucestershire, where I live, we're putting together what I think is the first ever Christian book festival in the UK. I was looking for Christian book festivals in the UK and I couldn't find any. There isn't any that exist. So I felt God saying, make one, create one. So we've put together Book Blessed, which is the first weekend in November this year. And if you want to know more about Book Blessed, just go to Blessed is spelled B-L-E-S-T. That's the old-fashioned way of spelling blessed. Bookblessed.co.uk. If you want to know more, just go to bookblessed.co.uk. All that remains now is for me to say thank you for sticking with me tonight, for being here and turning up, and just humouring me and allowing me to indulge myself in a little bit of poetry with you. And so I thank you for that. And I thank God. Thank you, Lord, for the words that you put into my mouth, Lord, for the words that you tell me to write down, and sometimes they don't make any sense at all, but I still write, and I'm obedient. And I just pray now, Lord, that we would all have that sort of attitude, that we would have an obedience towards what you're leading each one of us into. I pray, Lord, that you will bless each one of us, and whatever we're up to for the rest of the evening, tomorrow, whatever we're doing, just remember that we entertain angels unaware. Whoever you meet tomorrow, remember that. And in a world that nowadays where we can be anything, the best thing to be is to be kind to people. And I pray that we'll all do that in your name, Jesus. Amen.